compete, only legends are told. Flashing lights and roaring crowd, in the ring they take their stance. Only pros and beauty queens, here they all get their chance. Thicky's Pokemon League, the best and beautiful league. In the spotlight they gleam, living the Pokemon dream. From Bulbasaur to Charizard, strong and stunning and bright. Every battle's a star show, every match a pure delight. Electric sparks and fiery blaze, trainers shouting their cheer. This is where dreams are made, winning's our quest. Oh dear, Thicky's Pokemon League, the best and beautiful league. In the spotlight they gleam, living the Pokemon dream. The Thicky's Pokemon League, where the best and the bold. Only beauty can compete, only legends are told. Flashing lights and roaring crowd, in the ring they take their stance. Only pros and beauty queens, here they all get their chance. Thicky's Pokemon League, the best and beautiful league. In the spotlight they gleam, living the Pokemon dream. From Bulbasaur to Charizard, strong and stunning and bright. Every battle's a star show, every match a pure delight. Electric sparks and fiery blaze, trainers shouting their cheer. This is where dreams are made, winning's our quest. Oh dear, Thicky's Pokemon League, the best and beautiful league. In the spotlight they gleam, living the Pokemon dream. The Thicky's Pokemon League, where the best and the bold. Only beauty can compete, only legends are told. Flashing lights and roaring crowd, in the ring they take their stance. Only pros and beauty queens, here they all get their chance. Thicky's Pokemon League, the best and beautiful league. In the spotlight they gleam, living the Pokemon dream. From Bulbasaur to Charizard, strong and stunning and bright. Every battle's a star show, every match a pure delight. Electric sparks and fiery blaze, trainers shouting their cheer. This is where dreams are made, winning's our quest. Oh dear, Thicky's Pokemon League, the best and beautiful league. In the spotlight they gleam, living the Pokemon dream. The Thicky's Pokemon League, where the best and the bold. Only beauty can compete, only legends are told.
Hello and welcome to the Week 7 podcast with Machiavelli and myself.
Hello, excited to be back. 2 weeks, gonna be a big one. How big? Check the poll.
They're saying Mac missile, not much. We got some big news here tonight. This was one of the bigger trade deadlines we've had in quite some time, I would say, with a lot of moves from top to bottom across the league. Some people were left hanging, unable to close those deals in the final moments. We did see certain Mons being shopped as close to 5 minutes before the deadline. The song is still playing. The song was very loud. And we're back, Machiavelli and myself. Big trade deadline, a lot of moves. Producer slacking on the audio. Machiavelli, what moves did you like? What moves did you wish you were able to make?
Well, we had some interest in Mamoswine. Unfortunately, we ran out of moves. 6 moves, obviously, was the limit. Did not come to a deal with Willis. He had to go jump his brother's car, or whatever the hell he was doing. I tell you what, this deadline was way more active than last season. If my memory does serve me correctly. Tons of moves. One that I did like, I think Frizzion was changing his stance. I think his team was a little bit too slow. Picks up Skyman, who hasn't made an appearance yet this season. Excited for that. Scrappy Mon. Hopefully will hacks Tutu to death. Golem A comes off the bench. Again, another Mon had that and seen that. Halucha just wasn't getting the value out of it. Kind of predictable a little bit. Suicune without the terror just wasn't really something that we were looking forward to seeing. Yeah, and I mean, if you look at some of the other moves, MRF 790, Will Chan, how you doing? Welcome back. Last seen on DP's team when he won it all 2 seasons ago. Will Chan, a new captain over there on MRF 760's roster. Hitmonlee joins the fold as well. We did see Slow King Galar for Ting Lu come to fruition, and Staying Safe swapped Zamazenta to First Fruit Rapid Strike with Greedent, just some of the moves that caught my eye. Mike, anything on your end?
Yeah, we did see Skyman finds its way to the Frizzion camp. Settling in Frizz Core, has really underperformed, I think, in past seasons, at least relative to its point value. Curious to see what the Frizz can make of it. That's probably the real standout to me. There's a lot of shuffling, a lot of moves, a lot of bench pieces moving around. But I think you really touched on a lot of the highlights.
Right.
I know you really wanted Mamoswine. Willis really stepped up to the plate pretty quickly there and took it off the table. Perhaps we could have worked out a deal.
Yeah, if you just check your messages, we're I mean, no offense. Hopefully, there's no hard feelings with Metagross. We were shopping Metagross pretty thoroughly, multiple camps throughout the last week. There was talks with Dev about acquiring Landorus. Did not respond to his request of a Sneasler. So, yeah, a lot of moving parts for So at the end of the week, but we're happy with the group.
Yeah, and a lot of Terra Captain changes, last minute
Right.
shuffling, preparing for these playoffs. A lot of these coaches have a good idea of where their Terra Captains stand and where they could use the extra support or the extra offense via the terrestrialization of those captains. Anything else you want to touch on trade deadline related?
Yeah, just I mean the 2-1 seeds stay true to their game, right? I mean Swaggy DP don't make any moves. Is DP awake? We don't know. Swaggy obviously confident. He hasn't really faltered too much. That's something to look at. I think if it's not broke, don't fix it. Swaggy doesn't really make moves in general. DP same thing. I want to touch on Tommy Tutu though. He's 2-4, 8 seed, no moves made really. I mean he changed up. Salamence loses some value I think without that Terra Captain. And Iron Crown, very strong Terra Captain. Is he using it right? I don't know. That's something to watch out for. We did see Cloudzyre get the nod as the captain in his most recent series. So that's something to keep an eye on. Salamence, is it going to get the right value out of it? Just don't see a mark.
Yeah, he's really struggled at times this season. Really throughout the season. Didn't find himself in the recent FrizzCore power rankings. What did you think of those rankings? And what did you... Go ahead.
No, that's a great question. I think Frizz first and foremost does a great job every time he drops those power rankings. Hard to argue Swaggy not being number one. Even harder to argue DP, all bet in the stronger conference, not being number two. Humbly third, myself. I still think he gave you the benefit of the doubt at 4, just being the defending champ and whatnot. Definitely think Chiva probably feels slighted after giving you the pounce. Roaring Moon was delicious in that series, might I add.
Delectable, some would say.
Yeah, delectable as Montgomery Carlo would throw in. But I think someone like an unsung hero really this season is flying under the radar is Kel. In a scrappy series, week in, week out. But I think Kel's been the most improved trainer, honestly, this season in my eyes, from what I've seen the series. Had Dev pinned up against the wall last week, just really treated him like a guppy. Really just taking on tough trainers week in, week out, and coming on top. I mean, there's been improvements for Kel's game, I think, week to week, just building, I think, one of the better builders.
Yeah, I mean, Kel's doing great. I don't know about most improved, though. Kel was already really solid, right? And Limit, in his first season, had a pretty great showing, and ever since has really struggled to regain that presence. Finds himself in the top 6 at the moment.
Yeah, he's also top 3 in the conference.
Yeah, 4-2 plus 3 differential, very good. And
Right.
keep in mind
Right.
that's 1 differential away from being in the top 3 of the entire league. So
Right.
he's playing quite well. Completely gobsmacked Tutu last night. Put him in the dirt.
Yep.
He's looking strong. Chiva's looking strong. Obviously, made light work of me just a week ago, and staying safe. Probably the rookie standout at the moment.
Yeah, he's playing real good ball. I mean, I think the competent trainer. You look at guys like him, RJ Luxio, a lot of good stuff from all these rookies. Really, I mean, RJ turn to turn was somebody you could probably put in. Honestly, that top 10 right on the borderline. I mean, playing him last night. I mean, turn to turn, just making good reads, double switches. Something you usually don't see from rookies. I think staying safe. In terms of building, understanding the game, and his level of just competing, I think is something that's refreshing as far as rookies look. Yeah, I definitely think staying safe probably could have been 6, 7, 8, all along those lines. But he's got some moxie with him, right? He's chirping. He's looking real good going into the playoffs, Mark.
Yeah, I agree. And looking at the Driftvale Conference, we see Cyndaquil and Luxio currently out of the playoff picture. Tommy Tutu is right there with Luxio, though. 2-4, -2 versus Luxio, 1-5 with a -6. I wouldn't feel too safe if I'm Tommy Tutu.
No, yeah, and I believe Luxio's taking on Cyndaquil, and Tutu's taking on Frizion, who has a very strong record for his Tutu head-to-head over the last 3 seasons. I do have Frizion, not to foreshadow the predictions, but I do have Frizion taking that one. And I have Luxio beating Cyndaquil, so it could come down to last week. I mean, anything can happen.
And every game in this series matters. You have to,
Right.
try to go 2-0, obviously. But as we get down to the nitty-gritty, as we close out this season, it can come down to a tie or even a tiebreaker situation. It has in the past. And like you said, Luxio, the heavy favorite this week. Tutu, the big underdog. Emphasis on big. And in the Castelia Conference right now, is that right? Greedence 1-5? Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, tough season for.
So hold on, the only person he beat was me.
Yep.
Yeah,
How does that make you feel?
That's unbelievable.
That's just in the words of King Coach, that's just Pokemon. That's what it's
It's
about.
damn I said respectful. I was going to say disrespectful. But I guess it's respectful in a way that he decides to lock in only for me. Finds himself with a -7 differential and 1-5 and battling for 8th seed with Willis and MRF. And I don't see either of them relenting that slot. Although Willis has alluded that perhaps he'd prefer to miss playoffs. And we've got a suggestion in the chat. Is that Chiva suggesting a Gen 4 draft, which would be very fun.
I don't hate that.
I definitely don't hate that idea. That would be that'd be a lot of fun, actually. Let's see if we can sell it to the producer, right?
Right. I don't hate that. I mean, that's honestly where I excel as far as.
Well, I mean, one consideration is the pool of available Pokemon's quite a bit lower. No way we're slotting 20 in there. And probably
you probably have to chop
roster,
down to
right?
16, right? 16 and just keep the field. Ivan Jer says Tommy Doo-Doo. I don't like that guy. Don't know who Ivan is, but
says Mikey is so smart and handsome, so he's pretty sharp. I want to keep an eye on him. Could be a dark horse.
Yep.
Contender for Chatter of the Week.
Got his horse right here.
All right, back to these standings. Swaggy comfortably ahead of everybody else at the moment. Likely going to finish out as the 1 seed in the Driftvale Conference. And that's the other thing about being in that 8th seed race.
Yep.
You do get in and you're up against a behemoth round 1.
Yeah, and there's no slouch there at the 2 seed, if you will. And then Limit's sneaking in there. I mean, Limit's quietly been, ascending. Even Lily, right? I mean, Lily just kind of started off slow, picked it up lately. I think Maki's underperforming a little bit. Tough schedule. Hack's definitely not on Maki's side, but I don't think Maki's really somebody you really have to sit there and say, all right, this is not a scenario where I want to be in, right? I mean, that's a tough team. Gliscor, Magirna, Weavile, Vaporeon showing good, but a little bit slow. Something to watch out for.
Yeah, I'll say. And you kind of see the inverse in the Castelia Conference with the 3 seed Kel. If the playoffs started today, would be rewarded. The 3 seed would be rewarded with a matchup against Chiva.
Right.
That's a stacked conference, drawing comparisons earlier to the Western Conference of the NBA in the 2010s.
I mean, I listen. I think looking at a guy like RJ, 2-7, that's not a matchup. I'm really, you know, waking up and saying, all right, this is easy. I mean, RJ turn, like I said last night, was tough. So I mean, contrast both conferences. Definitely think the power level's higher on one, but I still think even Tutu. I think if he wakes up on the right day, 1 out of 100 of those days he'll probably show up and have a good series. But those other days I just don't see it. But still 8 seed, not a slouch. Definitely scrappy.
Yeah, I'll say. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about these standings. Unless you've got any more commentary to add. Anybody we didn't touch on? Dev, I feel like always kind of flies under the radar, having another excellent season.
Yeah, I think he's just so solid that you just expect it now, right? I mean, it's like the Spurs from 2000 to 2015. Really, just solid franchise. Nothing flashy about it. Gets the job done. Loses the games you kind of expect him to lose, but he pretty much wins everything you expect him to win. The tougher matchups he does falter a little bit, but he also will squeeze one out. Pause. Against the bigger guys. Pause. But I really want to see him in that 4-5 staying safe round one. That's like Grizzly Spurs back in the day. Just hanging and banging down low. Pause. A couple guys really going at it. Pause. I mean, even Chiva Kel in round one. That's another good one. Yeah, just scrappy all around. Pause.
All right, man, we get it. All right, you got some urges. You're fighting them right now on the podcast. If you need to talk to somebody, there's a lot of us out here. Would love to hear what you're going through, Mac. Anyway, some more banter about the Gen 4 talks in the league
people
chat.
love it.
Something to keep an eye on. Looks like the producer has responded with an emoji of his own. Looks like the Garza special on there. Not sure what to or how to interpret that, I should say.
No.
We do got some replays to review.
Yeah.
The Mac Man wanted to review these personally.
Yeah.
See if I've got everything set up. And yeah, we do right there. We're going to start with Mac. And
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Mac Man.
Yeah, hello.
All right, you're back.
Hi.
The Mac Man versus Maki. Scrappy series.
I didn't think I was going to go first. Yeah, this was one of I think one of the series, I think, as far as like bad on tough on paper as you can get, as far as me matching up. Obviously, I don't think I needed psychic terrain here. I think indeed some series really just waste a slot. So going into this prep, I was like, all right, I got to get rid of Gliscor. If Gliscor is out, Sneasler can kind of chip its way through with the choice band, but yeah, I think ultimately just kind of just trying to draw Gliscor out and get Ogerpon going. Ogerpon looked really good in the builder here, but Maki played this really good. Right. Yeah. Yeah, Slitherwing was kind of annoying as well, just because um I mean it's low key versatile in a way. I feel like you can run the choice band, first impression, but I think Maki brought a cool set with the Willow Wisp and whatnot, just kind of deterring Sneasler from staying in it, versus it. Got lucky on some hacks here, but yeah, I was just trying to just pivot around Gliscor, just draw it out and really get it one-on-one with Ogerpon when it's chipped and click Cudgel. But I mean, if you look at Maki's team, I mean, Cudgel is probably the way to victory versus a lot of the Mons. Even Weavile one-on-one doesn't want to face it.
Definitely.
Yeah, here it's...
Oh, no, I'm typing. I'm typing on the producer account. No good.
What's going on, dude?
I was trying to... the producer went nuts.
Yo.
All right, we're back.
Got a guy said, Ivan, Sidespam's not even on the replay right now. Whoa.
Producer was talking about banning paralysis.
Yeah, I don't have anything for that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, anyway, back to this matchup. I think Vaporeon and Hydrapple, they exert some pressure. I'm able to Terastallize around the Sneasler there.
Yeah, and I think Vaporeon was really annoying as well. This is game 3, but my whole game plan was trying to get Poltegeist inverse Vappy, inverse Hydrapple clean. And just click Shadow Ball. I mean, even here, that's good chip. Obviously, it's specs. Fortress had to stay alive for Weavile to not go nuts on me. Pause.
Stop it, man. Cut it out.
Right.
That's pro producer.
I wanted to click Volt Switch. I don't know why I didn't, but just a good read there, and Maki gets the free switch. But this is where I got down to the nitty gritty right here. This is when I was running calcs, making sure I could live. But yeah, once Ogerpon gets going, it's really tough. Honestly, it's been fun this season to use. I think it's been slept on the last couple seasons of the TPL.
Yeah, I think it's been maybe underutilized. Who had it last season? Limit? I think he only picked it up at the tail end, though, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't think he really brought it out till like the end of games, where it was kind of overmatched, right? And I think that the key with the Ogerpons is when you bring it out, right? It's when you get that cudgel clicking. I mean, here it's just I wanted to bring it late. Had to make sure Gliscor was able to get KO'd by it, or else I died at EQ. Adamant Cudgel does like 92%, I think, to Gliscor at the minimum. So as long as he was below that, I was freely clicking it. I think at the end here you'll see free switch. Vaporeon's getting, doesn't really matter what happens here. And then I think Maki tried to play it a little bit too cautious here. I was kind of cautious as well. But yeah, this is a free switch for Poltegeist right here. And then it's just, right back to the same cycle. This is a tough series. I was sweating, edge of the chair.
Yeah, I think we all are, as we watch this play out. That Ivy Cudgel there, quite a lot of damage, even to the potentially max def Gliscor.
Yeah, I always calc max def, obviously. Double protect here. I think she thought that I was Jolly after talking to her post-game. She said that was a high roll, but Adamant is always like 92 minimum versus max defense. Just
You mean 72?
Cudgel bunk. 72, yeah.
Very nice. We've got Luxio. We've got Lily. Similar prefixes there to the names. Not sure who the real Lil is going to be. Didn't watch this one live. We're going to find out together.
Yeah, no, I watched it live. Yeah, Palisand was pretty cool in the builder here. I think for the Lily camp. Just Torkoal and Jirachi kind of deterring them. Got some people falling off in the chat right now, but yeah, I'm playing Lily this week, and kind of annoying to prep for, to be honest with you. Honestly, Star Raptor and D-Knight pose some threats.
Yeah, never know which Lily you're going to run into.
Yeah, it could be the hammer. I will be right back. I got to get a water. Mike, can you take over here?
Yeah, I'll take over. Palisand, I think, is always a pretty strong budget pick. Another interesting thing about Palisand is that it's a ghost. Got a little spin block action there, potentially. Able to set some hazards of its own. To be honest with you, folks, I wasn't expecting to have to commentate these games. I'm not prepared. I don't have my notes with me, and the Mac Man has left me hanging. Luxio, I think, is a little bit better than his record suggests. I do think the Sun, perhaps, maybe not used to its fullest potential at times during this season. Really like what Lily's done with the roster. Big fan of Dragonite. even without the access to be a Terra captain. Had it on our radar briefly when it was a free agent. Didn't scoop it up though.
Yeah, we're back.
All right, take back over. This was not insightful on my part.
Yeah, it's all right, man. I'm reading a comment. Will we be getting a matchup review? Seto Kaiba just asked that.
Is that more of like a matchup preview, perhaps? Predictions? Is that what we're asking?
I think so.
Fans must clarify.
But yeah, I think honestly, even though Luxio's 1-5, I definitely think there's been some sparks of good gameplay, and I think this series is the epitome of that. Setting up the screens. I think Torrens played real well throughout the season, just hasn't been able to get the results. I mean, even Chomp and Venusaur. I just think that there's some light at the end of the tunnel there for the Luxio camp. They can sneak into the playoffs. Not really sure if they can make noise, but if you're watching here, it's just kind of really tough to break down Sylveon with this Wish Protect here. Even the nasty plots, Bleakwind Storm just not accurate enough for me to really keep clicking it. I know you're not a big accuracy guy, right? You never really see Focus Blast in the Mikey camp. Hurricane really run.
Not a fan.
But yeah, here comes Roadrunner. This is when it just starts going downhill for the Luxio camp. Now that Torn is out, Roadrunner is going to be really just coming in at will and just clicking things. Here's Sheik. Not really sure what that means. Maybe the Iron Sheik, possibly a WWE reference from the Lily camp.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's not what it is.
I don't think it is either. But Torkoal playing good ball right here, clearing that smog burn. Just clock is ticking. But yeah, if you look at Lily's team, just good synergy throughout. I really thought Luxio was going to take this one here, though, when I saw this. The Venusaur. I don't remember how it ended. I'm pretty sure Ogerpon went nuts at the end, but yeah, just stalling out the turns here. Good play. I'm going to look into that nickname, Cuddler, by the way. Not really sure what that's about, but Lily did a good job here. The nickname on Sylveon was Cuddler. Gotta look into that.
Excuse
me?
me?
Yeah, here comes Star Raptor. What now?
Cuddler.
Cuddler, yeah, I don't know what that means.
Probably a reference to NFL quarterback Jay Cutler.
Most likely, but yeah, here comes Star Raptor. Easy, clean 2 KO. Weather Ball, how you doing? Not going to do enough. Really got to just click Sludge Bomb there.
Big Ogerpon fan.
Yep, and then yeah, look at the end here. Ogerpon, Roadrunner, meet, coming in. Just clicking Cudgel. Boom.
My favorite Ogerpon set was actually the Choice Band.
Yeah, even the Encore set is nice. Sometimes just getting people locked into something.
I'll play the Encore on the Choice Band set all day.
Right. I mean, this is tough though. End game. Sylveon really just sitting here sleeping on both of these things. Honestly, I mean, Hyper Voice, boom, see you later. And then Chomp, not going to be enough. Ogerpon ends it late game. Lily played the Sun really, really well, right? I mean, not just running out the turns. Teal comes back in, bonk, see you later. Good series. Lily took it in 3, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many ways, too, for Lily to play around Sun, though. I think it is an unfortunate matchup because Dragon Knight on its own exerts a lot of pressure against Sun with the priority, with the set of resistances, and with the multi-scale. And then also you've got Ogerpon, who can potentially equip a Choice Scarf. Don't know what item Lily was running. But can equip a Choice Scarf and then use that Terrestrialization to outrun even, Chlorophyll boosted threats or Proto boosted threats. It's just so easy to shut down those powerful weather sweepers, and you're never really going to get a chance to boost. You always have to fear that Encore. And you have to fear just getting cleaned up and pinned by the Ogerpon.
Right, even if Venusaur clicks Growth, right? Ogerpon just comes in, gets that Encore, right? I mean, that's something to think about. I got some fans badmouthing me. I'm not really sure what that's about. Ivan needs to jar himself in the skull. Thank you. Yeah, here's a scrappy series, though. I I don't know if you saw this one, Mikey, but Blaziken played real good ball right now. That nickname's also under investigation for language. But Blaziken's been balling without the Terra last couple weeks. Even Milotic finding some good synergy in the Kel camp. She actually tried to flip Milotic, I think. Didn't go through due to a rule we not talk about on the pod. But yeah, Kel's been cooking. If you watch this one right here, good tech, men alert, get out of there. But yeah, I mean, I really love Dev's team though. I'm just kind of looking at it. I mean, he's got the Fairy, he's got the Steel, a couple former Soho associates on that roster. But Mikey, he finally made Ogerpon the Terra captain, and it's been paying dividends. He didn't win this series, but most recently it's been cooking for him.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, Ivan says, flip this. Tried to tag me. I'm not sure what that is. Seto Kaiba says, Philly, I'm your biggest fan. Pound Record says otherwise. But yeah, Milotic just kind of sat there and ate it.
Milotic's strong. It's a strong piece, if a bit boring at times. Somewhat one-dimensional, but just being that bulky water is always so valuable. You can usually find a use for it in any matchup.
Right. You got a fire type spam Flare Blitz. Milotic says, how you doing?
Yeah, check to a lot of Dragon Dancers, for example. Slower boosting threats can just never beat it because they get outsped and hazed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this win Superior just went absolutely ballistic. I mean, watch this. T-Wave, how you doing? Perk of the Electric Terra Cap. And then after this, clicker of button is really a word I would use right here. Anamorous, good night, see you later, thanks for dinner. And Superior is just going to clean up at this point. Just really good tech.
We're seeing a lot more Terra Electric, I think, as a counter to paralysis. In some regards, paralysis, I think, is just so strong, And I think the producer's right. I think a lot of people wouldn't be sad to see it go, especially if we're talking about an old gen draft, which seems to be picking up some steam. That brings us finally to Staying Safe and Frost DP, former champion. We do see the Alolan Persian here.
Yeah, good to see it out of the Giovanni realm, if you will. Just wanted to touch on that Electric Terra as well. We did see a Poltergeist change its last Terra Fighting to Terra Electric. I just didn't want to get T-Waved as well, so can't say I'm leaning into it a little bit. T-Wave's been running around rampant lately, but this is the series of the week last week besides Madam Hockey, I think. Two good tech guys right here. Virginia Tech going at it, with LA Tech.
Yeah, that Draco doing quite a bit. Having Iron Moth and having Slow King together makes playing around Kyurem a bit easier. You never really want to lock into Freeze Dry and let that Iron Moth come in and start clicking Fiery Dance, right?
Right. I think that was really the most cautious thing he could have done here, is picking the right set for Kyurem. Personally, DD Scale Shot, I think, was the way, honestly. I just think that Zapdos really gets worn down by this Ice Cold Spears. I think after Conk, you really don't have too much you can do with it.
Yeah, it doesn't get worn down. It just gets deleted, You're right. Dragon Dance Kyurem does kind of run through DP's team. Still does, have some counterplay. Does have the priority Mach Punch. Mm-hmm. Does have Sucker Punch with Meowscarada potentially, but it's easy to see it kind of getting out of hand, right?
Right. I think I think it's easy to sit here in the booth and critique it. I think getting up screens with Screamtail would have been my play, obviously, being a hyper offense player, but setting up the screens, DP doesn't have too much you can do versus the screens.
Well, and when you set the hell, you're only buffing the Kyurem's defense against that priority we talked about too.
Right.
So yeah, possibly a better pick here. Actually, probably. But sometimes you don't know what he's going to bring, right? DP did have some Pokemon on the bench there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you're trying to cover all 10. Mudsdale getting some action here.
Yeah. Got a comment coming in, question coming in. from the Frisian camp. Who do you think deserves Week 6 players and Mons of the Week?
I thought Sonny
Um,
played a good series, kept me on my toes.
I'm gonna probably go with 8 for limit. Um, I think anytime you pound Tommy Tutu on the head like he did, um, I really think that was a cool comeback. If you didn't watch that series, anyone. Um, Coach of the week, probably. Uh, um,
We did see Zamazenta traded for the Urshifu. And a move I like ultimately. I think it pairs really well with Eleki. You've already got so much speed there. Um, and Urshifu just gives you a lot more of that, wall breaking potential that you maybe lack on the physical side. Excadrill can get it done, but there is something about the spammability of water and fighting stab, along with access to U-turn, of course.
yeah, I'm still thinking. I'd probably say limit and 8, and then I'd probably go DP and unsung hero. Honestly, this series was Zapdos. Um, I think Zapdos just prevented so much offensive pressure. Right? I mean, sometimes the mod of the week isn't about the kills, but if you watch Zapdos throughout this whole series, really just chilled the whole time. I mean, Zam really couldn't do anything. I mean, Excadrill was finding really, really tough ways to get in, especially once he put the Heat Wave on. Ivan, Jarrett's thoughts on Gen 5 draft. Ivan, why don't you review yourself, buddy? I'm tired of this jackass coming in.
Yeah, Gen 5, I'm thinking probably not going to happen. I just don't think there'd be enough interest.
Nah. Nah, I think personally, my 2 cents would be keep it Scarlet Violet, just tweak it. Whether it's like ban like the 20, the 19, 18, or you just add like something else, tweak it somehow. I don't know. I feel like changing the gens right before a game comes out kind of goes off the momentum. I know people have been talking about the Nat decks for a while. I just don't know if that's something that's the league's going to lean into ever. I don't know. You never want to say never, but
Yeah, Nat decks I think just very unlikely. And I mean, on the flip, there's a lot of Nat decks leagues out there. There's like more starting every day.
right.
You don't necessarily have to play it here, right? I mean, you can play in other leagues. That's all right. The
Right.
TPL
I
can't
think
be everything
maximizing
to everybody, right?
maximizing resources is something you got to look into, right?
Yeah, right now it looks like Small Changes is winning by a count of 4-2. 23 hours left to vote on that. I might close it early if we get sufficient votes, and then we'll talk about the next potential changes. A generational shift would be massive. Would require a lot of support.
Right.
Doesn't seem to have that at the moment. We've got somebody timed out in chat. Possible burner. Looks like Judgy.
Maximize this. That shit's great. Yeah. Anything else before we?
Yeah. What if we just like unilaterally ban paralysis?
I don't think that's something Hatterene wants to look at.
I don't think Hatterene would like it, but I think most of us would.
I mean, I'm somebody that, I'm not gonna lie, I'm somebody that spams it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love Nuzzle. I love Fortress